My name is Miranda, and I'm the creator of Muted. Muted is about a witch named Camille who is part of 7 different witch families in New Orleans. And she undergoes a sort of traditional ritual with her family to find out that she's actually part of another witch family. So all the drama and identity issues that ensue. I like witches, and I like New Orleans, and I'm also a lesbian, so. Since like 8th grade, I've been writing stories with my now wife, and so I write stories all the time. And so like this was just one of those ones like we should actually start making comics. And so I started this one and she started hers, and we're working on another one together. So it's just those sort of things where we just talk about stuff a lot. On Webtoon I started, I actually read Lore Olympus. It was the only comic that I had read at the time, and I was just like, this seems like a really cool website. So I looked into it and I posted the first episode, only then to discover that you had started that contest. And so I was like, uh-oh. So I like took it down really quickly to then post it again to apply for the contest. And then I was like, okay, now I have to do 40 minimum for this contest. And so I went through all of that, and at around episode 10, I believe, my editor, Bree, contacted me. And she's like, hey, do you want to, come on board with us? And I was like, obviously. So now here I am. I think probably Camille for the most part. I know it sounds weird. It's like, I'm just like my main character. She's not a lot like me, but like with the same, because she has a lot of anxiety and depression and having to work through all that kind of stuff and self-identity. So things when I'm trying to plan out how she acts, kind of like how it relates to me, or at least people that I know, to sort of flesh that out. Yeah, right now I have 3 seasons planned, and but originally I kind of adapting day to day, because originally it was only going to be 2. And then I was like, actually, I think this is a good time to take a break. So it's like, as I work on it, and you think of more things, I'm like, actually, I think this would work better. So like the same major plot points are still kind of the same, but all the little details leading up to it are slightly shifting as we go along. So yeah, about I think 3 seasons. I combat it by, I guess, just sitting in my chair and just trying to, if sitting in the chair doesn't work, then just starting to draw. If I draw it and I start to lay it out, then I'm like, well, it's easier to piece words into the drawings that come to mind, almost as if, because sometimes I get ahead of myself and I start writing the script out before I drew it, and I'm like, this needs to be spaced out completely different. So it helps to just sort of draw it and lay it out and then add the text in after the fact. I think, as cheesy as it sounds, I think it is important to just do it, because there's always that sense of well, I'm not good enough at backgrounds, or I'm not good enough at characters, or I don't 100% know how it's going to go. It's so long as you you like your idea, it's the fastest way to improve is even if you look between episode 1 that I did then and where I am now, I've already improved so much just in that time. I think you improve faster the more you do it. And it's and it's easy to be well, it's not good enough to show to people, but it's not true. It's so long as people enjoy your story and your characters, that's what matters more than anything. And then you just learn as you do it. So yeah, just get in there. My readers, they've been so sweet. Every week, you know how imposter syndrome is, where you're you just feel like a fraud all the time. but so every week, for no reason at all, I'm preparing myself for any negative comments, but everyone is just so sweet and so supportive all the time. And I'm just so thankful for Webtoon for giving me the opportunity, and then everyone just really relating and liking the story as much as they have. It's it's been really nice.
So thank you.